Well, I have the wonderful Maria Milano with me, absolutely an amazing woman. And I'm so happy to have her on the show because I surely do need someone to keep me in line. And she's laughing because I asked her, I said, what do you do? And she said, started going on. I said, no, just give me one word of what you do. She said, I'm a minister. And I went, oh, okay, I will now behave myself, which is totally impossible. So you're a minister. She's very beautiful to be a minister. So is it hard or is it easy being a minister, being so pretty?
Well, thank you very much for the compliment. And actually what I do is I marry people.
How strange in Vegas, because that's how it happens 24 hours a day in Vegas.
Yes, we're in the wedding capital of the world.
Yes.
It's true, and I've been doing this for about almost 10 years. In my previous life, I was in the rent-a-car business with my late husband.
Okay.
And I went to a wedding over at the Las Vegas Country Club. I saw this woman perform a wedding. I said, I can do that. That's something I wanted to do.
Yes.
So I love it, and it's something I really do enjoy doing.
Now, when you see a couple, they're going to get married, you kind of look and say, you two should never get married. Does that ever happen? I've often wondered, you know?
Really, you know what? By the time they come to me, you would hope they would have made the
I
right decision.
but
you know what? There are always circumstances that I have to say that definitely you just wonder. You just kind of hope that
they're going to
have
make
a good track record, right? But also, too, besides marrying people, I'm a widow, and I lost the love of my life after 33 years. And
Mine was 29 years.
And I was looking
33 years. She must have got married when she was 5.
No. And what I also do now is I've decided to also branch into becoming a dating coach in particular for people over 50. All I do is coach them, not matchmaking.
No.
And I also developed a course that is online. It's called a hybrid course on how to find love again. Because when you've been married for a long time, it's tough.
Yeah, I haven't found one yet. My husband died in 2004, and not that I'm looking because I'm really too busy to look, but no one's come along.
Well, you know what? When the right one comes along, they're going to knock your socks off or your shoes off. Let me tell you, you'll know. You know, because I really believe this.
I believe you know that. Mm-hmm. It's like when I met my husband, I knew I was going to marry this guy. I knew it.
That's right.
And I even said it because I was lying in bed. I was very sick, and I hadn't been dating him long, just a couple of times. And I said, Ninon de Rosa, I'm going to marry that guy. I liked his last name. Yes, I know you can laugh at that. But we had a great marriage, the greatest man that ever lived for me.
Well,
for me. Not for anybody else.
Exactly.
Because he had 2 other wives, and I don't think that kind of worked.
Well, and it's true when you really think about it. But again, if you were to go out and date again, and yes, even though you're out there in the public eye,
yes.
It's tough. Really don't. What do? Do you kiss? Do you hug? Do you French kiss? I mean, there's so many different things, and not just women, men as well.
Yes.
It's true.
I think men have just as much of a problem, though they always put it onto the woman, as the woman doesn't know, the woman has. I disagree with that. I think it definitely takes 2 to tango, mm-hmm. and I definitely think the men have just as bad a problem, if not a harder problem, because they are the male, they are the ones that women like us, maybe not the younger generations, we still like the man to approach and to do the manly things. We still want that, we like it. Do you?
Absolutely. So it's interesting. Chivalry, definitely. I just had an experience. It's funny you bring that up. I had a gentleman that was going to meet me I thought it was coffee. He says, no, let's meet over at Sunrise Cafe for breakfast. I said, okay, fine. So what do you think? You're going to go to breakfast with that person? They're going to treat you.
No. Yes.
Well, so he texts me beforehand, and he says, would you mind if I eat while we're talking? And I said to myself, weren't you going to buy me breakfast?
No, this is Vegas.
But this is Vegas, and I said, you know what? But you see, you have to really find what you're looking for. You have to.
So did you go to breakfast?
No, I did not.
Oh, I was going to say no way.
No.
That was the end of him.
If I'm going to have to pay for my own breakfast, it's a bad start. It's a bad start. But yes, but you're right. And you know what, too? The difference too is the demographics, because these younger people, they would think nothing of it. You have your other generations.
Well, that generation,
they're used to it. They're used to that. But this,
the man pays and the woman pays. I'm not used to that at all.
I'm a baby boomer.
No.
I know. I mean, it's different, and we do have different moral values.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's completely different, and I'm not knocking, because I happen to love change. I love how they are, and how my mother and father were. I'm sure I was different to them. Because you always remember, there is, with your children, majority, there's normally a 26, 30-year difference.
That's
because the mother and father are older, I mean, and the child comes along, at least 20 years anyway. So there's a big 20-year gap, and 20 years is a long time for things to change. So I think more parents should understand that these kids cannot be the same as they were 20 years ago. They just can't be.
And we have so many more tools that are available to us today as well. You know, everything is right there in the palm of your hands with your phones.
Do you think it's good? What do you think about this younger middle generation? They've got all these tools and all this stuff.
Well,
I
think it has a lot of attributes and assets. It's great. However, what is interesting is because I was dealing with somebody that had to count money back to me. So you're talking about they use their calculator all the time because it's right there.
Count.
And I count. So are you allowing your brain, your cognitive ability to really delve in and go in and find things? And that's the one side. But there's the other side. It brings you up all the information you need.
Well, also it brings you up all the information, but it's now different. So you've got this 20-year, 25-year gap, 30-year gap, whatever you want to call it, and then women are having children much older. So you've got like a 35-year-old gap.
Right.
So that's a lot of time of what you did and what the kids are doing at this age. But I don't think they're not learning anything. They're just learning different things. They're learning of their generation, and I'm not so sure that it's so bad. It is what it is, and they're pretty smart.
Well, you know, it's interesting too, because when you look at it, if you look at what's going on with the millennials and the Gen Xers and how they go online to find love, right?
Yes.
And most millennials, they're looking to find love. They want to see first that they're compatible in the bedroom, and then they want to see if they like the person, then they might live with them and have children and then get married. That's the trend with millennials. However, you get to our generation, and this is great that we have the internet to aid us if we want to meet somebody.
Yes.
However, again, you know, you really have to set up your parameters and think about what you're looking for. Yeah. And the same thing for men too. You talk about men as well. They need a lot of help sometimes with coaching.
Well, sometimes they need a lot more.
They do. You know, it's interesting. You meet men that put down that they're toned, and then you meet them and they're not toned.
You have to always remember that a man cannot date a woman unless she says yes, she'll date. Remember that.
You're right.
A woman will not have a child unless she says yes. A woman will not get married unless she says yes. Think of all those things. It's always up to the woman in the end. So the poor guy, oh dear, should I ask her to marry me? She might say no and turn me down. Or should I ask her for a date? She might turn me. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen.
But you know what?
But this day and age is different.
It's so different, and even with our demographics today, it's a little different. Women do reach out to men, and you know, men.
Would never call a guy.
Well, some men like a little bit of the chase. I prefer if a man is going to definitely court me and chase me.
Yes.
And I'm the old-fashioned. That's the way I feel.
Well, there's two of us left in the world that are old-fashioned. There's a lot more, actually.
I bet you when you have listeners, you should ask them, are they old-fashioned or not?
Are you old-fashioned? I'll ask you right now, are you old-fashioned or not? Let me know what you are. Go to Vegas Live with Ninon on Facebook, and you can answer the question. Are you old-fashioned? Do you like to call the guy? Do you want him to call? Younger generation? Don't let the guy, don't you pick the bill up, let the guy pick the bill up, because then he's honourable. Well, wouldn't he be honourable if he picks the bill up?
Absolutely, it's
Wouldn't he be a gentleman? I mean, when I was dating, they would buy everything. I probably didn't even have the money, but you know.
But you know, dating is so different today when you think about it. People just
don't
hang.
They don't date anymore.
You would hope they do. No, I've met some wonderful, wonderful men. I just didn't have the connection with them. Like you said, you knew when you met your husband.
Oh, I knew
when I met my husband, I knew, and it can still happen.
Yes.
It can happen in your 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yes.
I do believe that there's chemistry and a connection. It's just that, and there's 7 billion people on this planet. I know there's someone. There's going to be one more. Oh, you'll have several for
Steve,
you.
I only want one guy. Come on, Stephen. And Steve, who's my producer, he just got married to this lovely lady, Anna. She's absolutely lovely, but he married another woman. So goodbye, Steve. He loves all that stuff. No, he has a wonderful wife, and I absolutely adore her. But he just got married, and but he courted her for 3 years and everything. He did, but they were both kind of on the old-fashioned side. You know, they both did the thing, and you know, the courtship and the whole bit and everything. So, what other business are you in? You marry people. You actually help them get married. You help them to get divorced. You probably don't have to.
I think really that's it, but I am in the process. I'm cultivated a talk. I'm hoping to hear from a couple of different TEDx stages. I'm hoping that there's one in the UK that has me. I'm looking to talk about the power of I do and what happens after, you know, we all say I do, we marry somebody,
I do
but what
mean you're
happens
going to get
after?
married.
Right.
I do. I obey, and I'm going to get married. I'm going to get that little thing on my little round thing that's not supposed to be broken on my finger.
That's right, and maybe it could be a big thing too. It could be a
I
big carat.
had a 5-carat diamond,
That's
so
right.
I'm not hard up for diamonds.
But
No.
you know, it's so
My
interesting.
husband was good.
But you know, it's interesting you say that because I do marry. I've married probably a couple of thousand people over the last few
Wow.
years. And you wonder what happens afterwards. Do they really know what the commitment is afterwards?
It's a big commitment,
It
by
is,
the way,
yes, it is a big commitment, and there's more to it.
because it's not only them.
Exactly.
And you've got their mum and their dad
That's-
and their brothers and their sisters and the grandchildren, the aunts, and all this evolves around a.
Exactly. You know, you're not just saying I do to one person.
No.
You're saying I do to their past,
So everybody,
to everybody,
everything,
and it
everything.
makes a difference.
It does, makes a big difference. In that case, how do people get hold of you to sort their lives out? Should they, and shouldn't they say, I do?
Well, I have a couple of different ways. I have a website,
Okay.
which is www.loveknotslv.com. You can reach me at 702-501-4150, and I do answer my phone.
And that's a phone for dates and for answering questions and for getting married. So
I call myself a minister of love.
there you are. She's a minister of love. Isn't that amazing? Well, she's going to keep me in order, that's for sure. Thank you so much
Oh,
for coming
it's a
on.
pleasure.
We've learned a little bit of, you know, how to get married and how not to get married and what's going on with the generation. In the meantime, there's always somebody out there for you, for me, for everyone. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon. Awesome.